Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 944. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
944 is, when I was a kid, I had a little dinky car of a Porsche 944.
Oh.
And it was my favorite. I still have it, probably. It's probably at my parents' place. And no word of a lie, like they haven't made them since like the early 80s, I think. And just a couple days ago, I was driving around here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and what popped up before me but a very disheveled-looking Porsche 944.
My two favorite Matchbox cars were the Batman 66, whatever that was, Cadillac thing with fins, and the not Moonraker, Spy Who Loved Me boat that was a car, that was a Corvette or something.
Right.
What kind of car was that? I don't know. It was white.
Oh, the Lotus Esprit.
Yeah, that's what it was. And little fins on it. Yeah, I didn't know what it was as a kid. I thought it was just a cool car. Yeah, the submersible one. And I found out it was in a James Bond movie and it blew my mind. I'm like, what? This car's what? What the hell is this?
Often considered the best James Bond movie. Spy Who Loved Me. It's very good. It's very, very good. Just so you know, I'm recording this episode on my birthday. So
Hooray,
there
happy
you go.
birthday.
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
Happy 83rd birthday.
Happy 83rd birthday. I went.
Alice Hemsky birthday.
I went. Thank you very much. There's no 83 now.
Not so current.
Matt Benning used to wear 83 after him. I looked it up. So all three of us each have 2 episodes of Doctor Who that went out on our birthday.
Oh, neat.
Now this is days since we were born. So maybe it went out on our, the day of our birth, like before we were born. So I'm not counting that. So just so you know, in case you're counting at home, Warren, you share your birthday, December 15th, with that of the Diamond logo on your second birthday, December 15th, 1973, episode 1 of the Time
72
Warrior.
would be so my third birthday.
Third birthday.
Yeah.
70. That's right. I keep thinking you're 71 for some reason. But
no, because I'm barely
even,
not 1971.
Even older. Yeah, that's right.
Just to interrupt, I recently got around to listening to your interview with the Kibble Lights and Stuart Manning about Adventures in Type and Space and all the chatter about the opening sequences. And you called out the 50th anniversary of the Diamond logo back in that interview.
I did indeed, and by the way, speaking of which, that book is there's a couple of delays, but it is now reaching people who bought it. I'm one of them. I haven't got it yet, but I am in Canada. I fully expect to get it last because that's just how things work.
Well, one thing we'll talk about later that Warren ordered from England came pretty darn quickly. So
yes, it did. Amazingly enough, after some website shenanigans.
Mine. We will get into.
We'll leave that on the floor for now.
Ooh, hashtag teaser. Time Warrior episode 1, December 15th, 1973. So Warren turns 3, is unaware of this at this point.
Oh, of course.
Then Warren, you also share your birthday. Your 9th birthday was the same day that Nightmare of Eden Part 4 went out.
Yeah, nice. I've never been a huge Nightmare of Eden fan, so that's not phasing me very much. Time Warrior is good.
That's why you're wrong.
Yeah.
No, I'm not wrong.
Chris, here's yours. You ready for yours? On your first birthday, January 24th, 76, was The Brain of Morbius Part 4.
All right, that's good.
Cool.
Not bad, eh?
Not bad.
And then I don't know how you feel about that. Warren would probably feel worse about this. 81. So what is that, 6th birthday? Same day as Warrior's Gate Part 4 went out.
I've reappraised Warrior's Gate. I appreciate what it's trying to do. Whether it does or not is another story. But
the best thing about Warrior's Gate Episode 4 or Part 4, the story ends.
That's true. That's true. I've said it often on this podcast how the very first version that I saw was the omnibus with the
no music
episode one that didn't have the music and effects on it. I thought this is the stupidest play I've ever seen. Why did they not put sound effects in this show? Who
then
directed
the
this
showed
crap?
up and you're like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, and then it was just weirdly after where the cliffhanger would be, like 25 minutes in, all of a sudden, well, oh sure, now you put sound effects on. But that watching that for the first time, like just like impacted my opinion of that story.
That just adds to the trippiness level.
It does a little bit. It's fascinating. But
what are your
mine?
episodes?
On my 4th birthday, I'm very excited about both of these. February 3rd, 1979, The Armageddon Factor Part 3.
All right, good.
Classic. And then today, 40 years today, as we record this, the same day that I was going to see my very first Edmonton Oilers game in person, Frontios Part 4 aired.
Another one you're happy the story ends.
December 3rd, 1984, it finally ended. Paddy Kingsland and his digital pan flute wrapped it up on this day in history. Right. It's so weird that even like in all the modern series, this wasn't that weird because we're all born around the same.
We're all winter births, so
we're winter births, and Doctor Who never seems to air in winter, and we missed out on the series 12, Jodie Whittaker's second season, barely by a few days either way. So there you go. There's some birthday trivia for you. For RFS birthdays. In case you're there, I named all the birthdays for all of us.
So the astrologists out there can...
listeners,
I was going to say you better give out all our middle names and social insurance numbers.
Dox
so we
us
can
all. Yeah.
completely be doxxed at this.
A self-dox?
Exactly. Or if you want to send us a present, support us, Radio Free Skaro on Patreon.
Shameless. Shameless, but well timed.
I like mentioning because it's funny. You can support us at patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro, just so you know. Said that really quietly there. I don't know why I did that.
Because the blaring announcement at the end of the show doesn't.
Yeah, Canadian humbleness. That's why.
There isn't a blaring announcement at the end of the show anymore because it was so. Our good friend Simon Harris did the voiceover, but it was like mentioned like Twitter and like Tumblr and probably Google Plus or something and all the other.
Honestly, isn't Tumblr the more relevant one now?
I'm not even saying
it's relevant. It's just more relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, we're also we're on YouTube. I don't know, it's the part where the people say where podcasts tell people where they're listening. So you can listen to us. We're already listening to you. We can listen to us on iTunes. Is it iTunes anymore?
No, listen somewhere different, dummy.
It's Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're on Spotify, home of Joe Rogan for another 8 years or something like that.
And Smartless,
signed a $250 million deal over there.
Yeah, YouTube.
I've never heard one iota of Smartless, by the way. I like those guys in TV shows, but I don't want to hear them talk about anything.
I don't even know what you're talking about, Warren.
So it's a show with Will Arnett and Jason Bateman and somebody else who I don't recognize the name of, but they got $100 million from Spotify.
Wow.
And I've heard people say it's okay, but I'm like, I don't want to hear the opinions of three rich Hollywood guys. I just don't care.
But at least Will Arnett is Canadian?
Yeah, but he's a rich Hollywood guy.
And
he's very funny in a lot of different things, but I don't care what his actual opinion is on anything.
So there's this
he's the best Batman for
TV.
one.
That's true.
He is a good Batman. There's this show called Lego Masters. Steven, I don't know if you watch it. He's the host of that.
I know of it. I haven't watched it.
And I've seen bits and pieces, and he just seems so out of place there. But Arrested Development, he's phenomenal.
Well, he is. We're recording this the same weekend as the NHL All-Star Game, and he was the celebrity captain for Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl's team. So,
not
I saw. Sorry, Warren. I saw this thing. I was just on the NHL All-Star thing.
We got to do some Canadian content here, new listeners. This is what we
I saw this thing last night. Just doom scrolling Instagram. Michael Bublé doing a presser press
he was
conference.
high on shrooms.
He was high. Was he actually high on mushrooms?
No, he wasn't actually.
Oh.
It
was a put on. Okay.
Too bad, because my respect level was going to go up 100% if it was.
No, Bublé's funny.
Zero.
Bublé's funny. He's a funny guy. I've seen him in a few things, and he always pastiches himself. And he's in that bubbly water. B-U-B,
which he's probably making his zillion.
He uses a nose a lot, and he's a genuinely funny person.
He's fairly self-depreciating for what I've seen.
He is. Yep.
Anyway.
And he's a crooner, and you can never like crooners. Come on, but no, he realizes his image, and the
The one
Good for him.
thing I was going to say previously was that there was that weird blip where geeks were cool, in quotes, all of a sudden. And like maybe let's say 7 or 8 years ago.
I must have missed that weekend.
Well, and you'd see cheap TV shows where people who claim to be geeks, and I'm sorry if I'm gatekeeping here, beautiful Hollywood folk, but they'd be like, we're geeks, we like whatever. And and I'd be like, come on, really? This is all you're just grabbing whatever happens to be popular at this moment and slapping it on whatever you're trying to sell. I know I sound like a gatekeeper, and frankly I am, so I don't care.
You are a little bit
But if a bunch of rich Hollywood coke snorting jerks want to be geeks all of a sudden, and then surprise, surprise, people opened up the fetid toilet that is 4chan and Reddit and said, oh, maybe we don't want to be these guys.
No.
So we solved our own problem by being disgusting, us geeks.
Yeah. We'll just go to see Marvel movies and, the geek movies that are like, the 10 most highest earning movies of all time.
Oh, I know, but the whole thing of like, hey, that's my word was what I was like, you can't call yourself a geek. Who the hell are you surfer looking dude hosting a game show or press hard work?
No.
Not to name names.
That's back now with what's her name? Taylor Tomlinson.
I never watched the first place because I don't care.
No.
So there's the thing.
No, I only watch Doctor Who, as you know. And talk about Doctor Who and go to things about Doctor Who like Gallifrey One. The as of today, February 3rd, Saturday, February 3rd is recording this, of course. As I said, the Kaffeelatsches sign up went live today. Hasn't even gone yet live as we record this, but Kaffeelatsches, of course, being where you can you and a few others could sit in a small, tiny room behind a closed door and actually hear a pretty interesting little private Q&A with various guests. Anyway,
they're fun.
Sign up
I've
for that.
done, I think 2 so far.
2 in the history of the Gallifrey One that you've been to?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times, especially in the past, the sign up for them was in person, and we were on stage, so I couldn't.
Oh right,
go
yeah,
over,
that's right.
And they quite often fill up quite quickly because there's only 12 spots per. So
it's a real dealer's room dilemma.
Couple I'm interested in this year that I might sign up for. But they're good. I did Pete McTighe and Wayne Yip.
Oh, nice.
Over the years, so
right. We've never and things blur together. Things blur together. Have we ever had Pete Ty on the live show? I don't know if we did.
I don't remember. I mean, it's entirely possible.
No,
I know I did a commentary with him for Kablam. I know that for sure, but I don't remember if we. God, that's how awful of me to.
Well, how many have we done? 10,
We've
11?
done like 10 or 11.
It's gonna blur together.
This year we're doing another one, of course.
If not more.
Yeah, they started playing together. As great as that is, but
I don't know if Pete's back in Australia still or what the case is.
He just comes out of hiding to direct Blu-ray
with a giant beard and like the Monty Python hermit outfit.
Yeah,
it's
Anyway, so Gallifrey One, the Kaffeelatsches, they might already be all signed up and filled up by the time this episode goes out. You never know. Hey, Warren,
yes.
We alluded to it earlier. Speaking of Gallifrey One, because we had sort of thought, oh, maybe we would find this at Gallifrey One. Neither you or I took the chance.
Nope.
What arrived earlier this week for you, Warren?
Cue the 2001 music. Da, 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 da. Dun, 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 dun,
Warren is
dun,
holding
dun,
up
dun.
his Fugitive Doctor action
Doctor
Dolly.
There she is.
With laser
with a gun.
Yeah.
With a staser gun. Thank you very much. I don't know what it is.
Is it a staser gun? I mean,
it's a pretty cool prop. It does look
staser
it's pretty detailed
technology. Did staser technology predate Gallifrey? I don't know.
No idea. Well, it doesn't predate Gallifrey. It predates Hartnell.
Which,
right. Very important point. That is where she stands. I've got them all lined up, and she's on one end, and then there's a little space for Shooty. Well, just waiting. Very
cool. Yeah, mine. I ordered mine, and then I told Erica, and she said, "You know what? I was going to tell you when I was listening to that. You said just order it. Just order it." So I did, even though the shipping cost is somewhat exorbitant coming from the UK.
It cost me $100 in total.
Yeah.
I want to share my sympathies with friend of the show, Katie Beth Schmidt, who's still waiting for hers as of right now.
Right.
Due to the U.S. Postal Service being not as good as Canada Post.
What?
which sounds unlikely.
What?
But here we are. I got it first for some reason. She asked why.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, member of the Commonwealth. But maybe that's why.
That could be it.
Priority
mine
service.
also, I think mine's in Vancouver right now, Warren, by the way. And they shipped it from London to Vancouver and then up to here to Richmond. Went to Richmond. Is that where the international
That's the
airport is?
Yeah, so there's a big
Richmond?
sorting facility there, so that's probably why it's there. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, a lot of stuff goes through Richmond. So mine should be arriving on Monday or Tuesday. So Warrior, she will take pride of place right next to, just for fun, in between 4 and 5. I'm going to put her between 4 and 5.
That is canonically incorrect, but okay.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do to me?
I mean, I'm very angry right now.
You're gonna have
Your
Warren
lack of
showing up.
canonicity. What's
Yeah,
that, Chris?
Warren showing up at your door just to manually rearrange the dollies.
I just show up and I just brush you aside and move over to your dollies, move her up to before Hartnell where she's supposed to be.
I love that we found the one thing that will make Warren, like the earlier talk of like how you arrange your DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff like that.
Less.
And he could go, but
even books, they're all over the damn place. So maybe there's a chunk of history here and a chunk of
Baker
books
and Davison
there.
and Warren just like, what? You're under the air. What? You're in the airport now. Why are you in the air? I'm coming over.
I don't even
And
update
rearrange
you.
your
I just
figures.
show up. I just fly, show up. You know, it's
okay.
probably work day. I'm faking being at work.
Just
And
like,
I walk in, and you're like,
like,
"What are you doing at my
there.
place?" And I'm like, on my phone, going, "Quiet, I have work to handle here."
Yeah.
And then more important work of moving the dolly to the proper position. Then I just leave without acknowledging either of you.
just out.
Maybe
Back to
smacking
the
some Lego
airport.
while I'm at it. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Back to the airport, off back home. Meanwhile, even
Doesn't
before
say
the
hello,
doors
doesn't
close,
say goodbye, just slams the door on his way out.
Yeah.
I said, "Good day, sir."
Good day. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to my Adventures in Type and Space book arriving as well. So yeah, all the stuff that's happening before Gallifrey One. Gallifrey One next week. It's our Gallifrey One preview show, by the way.
Word, that's crazy.
I know, it's kind of really leaping up on me again.
Yeah, every year it does that though, and I don't know how or why. Because
No.
Because work, that's my problem. There's always a pile of work to do right before it, so I just kind of forget until I have to get my button gear and get ready.
Yeah,
maybe
a lot, but anyway. Hey, exciting news for the people of Ireland.
Unification. No, wait.
Oh no, that happened. It does happen this year, according to Star Trek: Next Generation. Doctor Who has been added to the RTE player in Ireland, which is great news. Hooray! That's superb because of course Ireland has been sort of left off. Because Ireland supposedly gets BBC if the wind is blowing in the right direction, and therefore it's not on Disney. Doctor Who isn't on Disney Plus because you can still in the area of BBC. But of course, everyone who lives in Ireland says no, we can't. We can't get the BBC in Ireland. So now,
well, they can't get iPlayer in Ireland.
They can't get iPlayer. That's what it is right there.
So is this just the new stuff, like the new stuff?
It's
Okay.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go. You get 4 episodes.
It's better than nothing, I suppose, but it's still not great.
It's a start, I guess.
Once again, Ireland's getting screwed by the Brits.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. So, but hey, start, I guess. So at least you can watch the new ones. Here's something I didn't think would happen. But when I said like last year, I thought like, oh, we would.
Sit here with my Fugitive Dolly. She's gonna console me while this happens.
we didn't do stats anymore on this show. What I really meant to say was just got rid of the theme song because we still do stats. The 28-day consolidated ratings have come out for the 60th anniversary specials.
But some of it's like really fantastic news.
It's very good news. The Star Beast 28-day consolidated rating, $8.36 million, Warren.
Dollars or people?
Dollars to donuts to people. It's million people. 10th most watched of the week. The Wild Blue Yonder 28-day consolidated rating 8.30. Fourth watched during the week.
Went from 9th to 4th, which I mean, when's the last time Doctor Who hit 4th for the week, right? So
it's been a long time.
Like Voyage of the Damned kind of thing, or I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And the Giggle, 7.91 million, 6th most watched of the week. So all 3 specials, the 10 specials, leapt into the top 10 for the whole week. Yeah.
So I'm gonna just completely beat this dead horse and just so for the Giggle, for example, overnight 4.62 million, 28 day 7.91 million. It went up 3.3 million It got a 75% jump over overnights.
Well, clearly the show is doomed. I mean, duh.
Clearly.
Yeah.
And I'll get Google alerts, or I'll see random stuff on YouTube or Digital Spy or whatever, talking about like overnight ratings and how dismal Doctor Who is doing and all that kind of stuff. And it's like,
right,
this is just clickbait trash.
Well, it's never not been clickbait trash.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, the reason why I sort of said we would stop bothering to talk about stats, apart from when we talk about stats, is that like Doctor Who is the only show of its kind that still is subjected to this sort of attention. No one's saying, "Oh, well, how did Star Trek Picard season 3 do?" And
the flip side is that who knows how terrible some of these sci-fi shows or other shows are doing.
Oh, I know. Well, I think the reckoning's starting to come when you see like how many shows are actually getting picked up and funded and renewed now since the blank check phase of
like I wonder
all these streamers is over.
I know people, you for in particular, Chris, like Willow, and I'm sure plenty of other people did. But did it just have bad ratings? Is that why they got rid of it? Or just cost a lot of money, or both? Who knows? Like
probably
because they don't. They never release those numbers.
Yeah.
To have anyone be able to understand it.
Here's the other thing from two people who've been on the inside: TV people don't make good decisions. They're pretty stupid, frankly.
Really
so there is that.
Yeah, a lot of the people who were my bosses in TV have long since been out of a job.
My bosses do also. Yeah. David Zaslav, the guy who's like, we're going to cut everything. Well, then you have nothing to show people. That you do realize you have to show things on your network, right?
David Zaslav is not one of our bosses.
No. But he's a Warner Brother nabob who, rightly so, takes a lot of ire from everybody because he's kind of stupid.
Can I just point out, it being my birthday week, I ordered myself the modular Lego set, which is like a cool big set. It was a museum this time around. It actually came out in December, but I held off until my birthday week because it's just my tradition. And I wanted to watch something for like the 6 hours or so that it would take over 2 nights to do that. And so I thought I've been meaning to do this for quite a while because I was frustrated by the pace of it initially, but as time has gone on, I think about it, it's probably a show that I like. I've completely come around on Andor, Star Wars Andor.
So you hate it now?
It is superb. What's that?
Oh, you hate it now? No,
I love it. It's really, really good. And I hate binge
watching.
watching.
You were bullish on it before.
I was bullish.
You wanted to like it.
I wanted to like it. But I just found like where the episodes, they don't end, they just stop until the next week. And
frankly,
I'm not a binge watcher. I don't like doing that. But honestly, watching 6 episodes in a night and hitting the next episode button every time the credits came up is the perfect way to watch Andor. It's superb. There, I came around on it, folks. It's the best. And I was sad when it ended.
I watched the first 4 again, and that didn't seem, watching them in batches of 4 seems to work.
Yeah, I would say even batches of 3 because there's like a 3-episode arc, one standalone and kind of, and then a 2 and I don't know 3.
I still don't like the fact that guy just sits around eating cereal and is got the hots for some fascist that doesn't really seem to go anywhere, but okay.
Yeah, I don't even know if he has the hots for her or the hots for her ideals. He's a weird guy.
Well, that's even weirder.
Yeah, he's a weird.
Well, there is season 2 in production, so
it is.
Maybe those questions will get answered.
Here's the thing: you got to wait for all that to happen, or 3 of them to happen at once, and then binge those.
I know. That's what I'm wondering. Like, how do we do this? I don't want to be spoiled by it, but I also don't want to be frustrated when it just chops out at 35 minutes. This is where we decided to end the episode.
I got to give them credit for going, okay, we're just going to have 2 seasons, and that's that. I'm like, cool. Yep. That's good for you.
Yep, and I also love that, unlike another certain science fiction franchise, a star in the title, is stuff that's set directly before established continuity, looks like it's set directly before, like the tech of Andor is just like, it looks like it was made at the same time as A New Hope.
But that works better for Star Wars, and it always has than Star Trek.
Does.
You can't... Other than for nostalgia purposes, like for instance, Picard season 3, which does work because they're doing it as like ooh, look at this thing. But you couldn't have all of Strange New Worlds looking like TOS. It just wouldn't work.
That's why you would just set it not before TOS.
Anyway. Well, okay, yes, absolutely, I agree. Put it in the future like Discovery did, smartly enough. But although I don't care about Discovery anymore, but at least they did do that.
It took Discovery a couple of years to finally get there. But
I'll give them that, or just set it in the film period. You could get away with
Star Wars
that.
has always been that low rent dichotomy anyway. You got zippy zappy spaceships and desert planets with mud huts.
Yeah, and it's also the aesthetic of Star Wars is a lot of what sells it, as opposed to Star Trek, where it's like, here's the space military. Does it really need to look like the last? Not really. Like, kind of, sort of, but whatever. But even within Next Gen, they would, and Deep Space Nine, they would change the uniforms around, all the rest of it, right? So
that's true. Yeah. Anyway, so there we go. We got our
any prepared rants for the Section 31 movie that is now underway filming in Toronto?
I don't. I mean,
yeah. Okay, I never liked the Michelle Yeoh character. I just thought
I like
she was
Michelle Yeoh. I just don't.
Oh, I know,
care
but her
about Section 31.
Georgiou was just she was awful to everyone on that crew, and like she wanted to eat the first officer, and then she leaves, and everyone just says, "Well, let's raise a drink," just like this person who wanted to kill each and every one of us.
If anybody's going to cannibalize me, I really hope it's Michelle Yeoh. Not to get all Bradley Cooper. That's not fair. Who's that other crazy guy? Who they
Arnie Hammer.
Arnie Hammer, that's who.
Arnie Hammer.
Yeah.
Life goals, Warren.
I say other crazy guy like Bradley Cooper's crazy. I have no idea. He's not. I've defamed two people, one of whom should be, one of whom shouldn't be.
Right. Bradley Cooper, is he a cannibal? On the next Radio Free Skaro.
As far as I know, he is not.
Rocket Raccoon Bradley Cooper, or
that's just yes.
That's the only role he's famous for.
Maestro Bradley Cooper,
or Star is Born, which apparently is very good from what I've heard.
Or was it American Soldier? I think that was him, or was that?
I don't know.
Yeah, anyway.
That's the most generic American propaganda militaristic film name I've ever heard. American Soldier.
It was very
I
much
bet you
that,
he feels really bad about assassinating people. It's really tough being an imperialist.
All right. Doctor Who Magazine. Hey, Doctor Who Magazine hit issue number 600. Well done, DWM. With a pretty spectacular cover, actually.
That is great.
All not Photoshop. They actually brought in every single issue of DWM that ever came out and splayed it out all on the new TARDIS set.
That is impressive.
There's a thing on YouTube about them like grabbing boxes from the archives and driving up to Wolf Studios and popping them as for those watching the YouTube version, you can see the image, putting the magazines all over the set, and that's a lot of work.
I would love if this showed up in an episode somehow. He's just kicking them around. Like, what is this crap? Get out of my TARDIS.
Like a spare magazine just sitting there on the console.
They just missed one.
I don't
remember
that
coffee cup in Game of Thrones.
I think my first one was like 147, which is shocking to think about.
I don't remember my first, but I remember distinctly going to Washington, D.C. with my dad for a vacation / like he had a work trip, so I just kind of tagged along. And so that would have been 1986, something like that. When did Fox, the network, show up? Not Fox News, because it was a week before that.
It was way
before. I remember
they
kept promoting
late
it
80s.
on TV.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember reading it, DWM, and it was the one about Trial of the Time Lord's model, which is part of why I'm so fascinated with it. So, so that would be 85, 86, somewhere in there.
Probably 87, close to.
I guess it would be after it came out on TV. So
by the time you would have seen it, probably in this country, because we would get DWM
right.
like 2 months later.
And we read that article over and over because I was utterly fascinated by it.
Yeah. So well done, DWM. There's a that I completely forgot about. There's a production notes of RTD there, which basically runs down. Here's where all the episodes are at in terms of production, and like there's
January 2nd, I think he said.
January 2nd. So judging by that, what he was saying, the block of episode 2 and 3 of season 2 is what was being shot this past week with the as yet unannounced Virata Sethu as the new companion, which is just like the biggest open secret. Like, there was a Radio Times covers party that happened this past week as well. Like Mandip Gill and Jodie Whittaker and Waris Hussein were there, and Katie Manning. And Mandip Gill said that, I gave her a call, gave Virata Sethu a call, wishing her luck at all this. Just like, is the BBC going to acknowledge that the fact that they've cast a brand new companion? Everyone else is, but... Anyway, so that's probably the one that they're shooting right now is probably episode 3, I think, judging by what I could read. But
for that RTD rundown, did we know that? So he mentions that for season 1, series 1, whatever, episodes 7 and 8 are a finale 2-parter. I'm not sure if we knew that before.
I don't know if we knew that either. I don't know if we knew that. You're that's very right. Yeah. So that's kind of new news.
But there's no indication that season 2 has a 2-part finale.
That much is
as you check your iPad.
I'm literally.
What I
opening
found
that.
fascinating is how he makes a point of saying, okay, if we've got a lot of FX in this episode, I got to write it even earlier. So like some season 2 stuff is already obviously already written. Some of it's already shot, like, and it's way further in than you'd think it would be.
And one of the things that's in there that I saw a few of the like sci-fi type websites out there pick up on was how they were trying to get Gatwa's first series to be a continuous thing from Ruby Road, just and then the next date starting in January. And because of the effects, as Warren calls out, they wouldn't. They didn't have time. They'd have to spend way too much money and take that budget away from other things.
The other thing is when you see extensive effects, everybody assumes, oh, it's going to be a giant spectacular. Not necessarily. Like the thing where they meet Newton, that's a ton of effects that you don't even think about. So it could be any number of things like that. Or not the giggle, the other one, the Wobbly Yonder. There's a ton of effect in that. And obviously there are, but it's also, you don't think about them that much. Like it doesn't, those aren't effects that go, hey, look at, right? So there's gonna be some of that for sure, obviously, because there always is, but it's not all gonna be that.
No. It's interesting. Yeah, they've episode 1 is 99% shot. One final scene to shoot with none of the regular cast is in it.
They said back. All right, gotcha.
Yeah, they said that 2 and 3 are shooting alongside it in 6 days' time, so that they've already like 3 weeks in now at this point. Episode 4 all shot. Of season 2 we're talking about here, which is interesting given that, it's widely assumed that Millie Gibson is probably in maybe the first 2 episodes.
So now to recant, it's probably not very much effects if they've got it all shot.
Yeah.
Maybe she comes and goes.
RTD says all shot. They'll be edited after episode 1, so it'll wait in line for a bit, although FX teams are sizing up certain shots now.
Okay.
That's for episode 4.
Which is the one he said is ready to go, and if there's an empty slot on the BBC schedule, we could put it right in there.
So was that episode 4 of season 1? I think?
That was season 1, episode 4?
4, season 1, done. It's complete. If a gap suddenly appeared on BBC One, we could transmit. So look at that. Episode 4 is ready to go of Shooting Gatwa's first season. How interesting is that? I wonder which one. I'm going to bet, just guessing, just given how many shots are in the trailer, I bet it might be the Regency one.
That's what I was going to say too. Yeah, also, it's a costume drama. Well, no, I was going to say you still need effects for that. You have to like big manners and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is the Beatles one 2 or 3?
2. Devil's Cord is they just keep throwing that. That's the official title. Devil's Cord is the actual one. That appears to be the Beatles one. So,
but if there's anything the Brits can whip together pretty quickly, it's probably a costume drama. So
that's true. Yeah. They might even do that one live. They're not doing it live.
No,
it's in the can, but they should do it live. They shouldn't do it live. Could they do it live?
No, they shouldn't. Well, except it would be a multicam. So yes.
That's what I'm saying, Warren. That's what I'm saying. February 4th is a big day. As you're listening to this, it's probably all over in the UK, but there was a screening at the BFI for Horror Fang Rock that sold out within like minutes. Just before that, there's also a screening for the Graham Williams documentary, season 15 Graham Williams documentary, the 97-minute feature by Chris Chapman that's on the season 15 box set that I'm really looking forward to. It's amazing that they crammed in a special screening for that beforehand. But
that's the Williams era in a lot of ways is super fascinating. So I'm really looking forward to this deep dive.
And this is the one I might actually break down and get.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I can't wait.
And then a year or two from now, I might actually get it.
I suspect it's going to be up there with things like 7-Year Hitch and some
Trials and Tribulations,
Checks, Lies, and Videotapes. And Trials and Tribulations, and
even the J&T doc that Chapman did on season 26 was it? I think I can't remember which one it was. Very good as well. Yeah, that's good stuff. Should get him on. The podcast. I'm putting that in my little mental note box to get him on to talk about this thing when it gets close to UK release. It'll still go out in June, I think. Now, I haven't damaged my hopes by checking if there's been an updated release date, Chris, for the season 15 box set, because I remember once when we decided
or Canada.
In Canada, just because. Okay. So it's like March 18th, I think, is when it's coming out in the UK.
Is it even orderable for us?
It is on BBC Shop.
I put my order in there.
Yeah, I haven't ordered it yet.
Which
I'm
means
still waiting for closure on the massive box set, which still hasn't come. So I'm I don't need to order it yet because I'll order it when it gets closer to time.
Doctor Who season, Tom Baker complete season 4
as we know it
on Amazon. Just pre-order, but I don't see a release date as such.
All right. Well, they did have a release date on the Canada BBC shop.
Yeah, June something.
Is it still June? See, I remember when the season 20 set was supposed to come out like in January, and then we just happened to look there and it says, wait a minute, it says 4/2 now. That doesn't mean February 4th. That means April 2nd. So we still have 2 more months to go for season 20. But at last report, the BBC shop had June like 15th or 18th or something like that as a North American release date for the season 15 thing.
Forget
it.
There's
that's me vamping. That's me vamping as much as I possibly can.
There's a $100 as time goes by box set. Forget about Doctor Who.
While I watch Chris go through the links to find it. But
yeah. So BBC Shop now says 7/9. So
July 9th.
Given it's Canada, I'm assuming that's going to be July 9th rather than September 7th.
Yeah, it's July 9th. Okay, so it's already been delayed again. All right.
Because, I forget what day in June it was supposed to be, but
it was the 18th or something like that.
June something.
All right.
And then Mr. Peter Davison, complete season 2.
Still April 2nd?
April 2nd.
All right. Well, that hasn't moved. I suppose you know what? 3 months in between box sets is fine, even though one of those box sets is delayed by several months to begin with.
I'm going to pre-order after this, I think. I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
then I'll have to be actually relevant to this text chain nightmare that we're all going through and continue to go through.
I'm proud of you.
Daleks in Color still March 19th.
But as time goes by, $99. Very tempting.
So it's right there. Even though it's on BritBox, Warren.
Even though it's on my parents' TV every time I go home to visit them.
That too.
Because it's a KSPS favorite.
Yeah. Celestial Toymaker
is May 14th, 29/24.
20. Oh.
I'm assuming that's a typo. But May 14th, which that's pushed back, isn't it?
It's probably pushed back. It used to be April.
Yeah, it was mid-March-ish for the UK release of season 15. Right. We're in that there London in early April, so we'll see how itchy my credit card finger gets when it comes to season 15. Even though I've already ordered it on BBC Shop and have
Don't do it. And
have been charged for it and paid it off already.
My credit card finger is already itching and a little scared of Gallifrey. So there's that. From whatever I find
you got the Fugitive Doctor out of the way at least.
There'll be something there I want.
Yeah. I'll have to see what happens when it comes to what can fit in the carry-on. So there you go. There's your random what's coming to North America and why is it late segment portion of
it's not random. It's, you can set your watch on this.
Yeah, that's true.
And I can't remember. Did you get to the other BFI thing?
No, I was about to when you interrupted me just now. Quiz of Rassilon also happened at the BFI buy on February 4th. It was sold out too, by the way. If you want to get tickets for that, it's sold out long ago. So seems that Doctor Who is popular at the BFI. All these events keep being put up and selling out within minutes of them actually happening. So
now, if you want stats, you got to figure out what obscure art films they're showing there, and then compare the two in terms.
Oh, there we go.
What have I done? Yeah. Why would I say anything?
Like BFI screening of the original Solaris or something versus horror.
No, even more deep dive than that. Some weird crap.
Graham Williams versus My Dinner with Andre.
Dinner with Andre.
That's the only art film you know of, isn't it?
That is the only art film you know of. I think.
It's quite a good one too, by the way.
Won 7 Oscars that year. Did not win a single Oscar. I'm just.
It's actually way more fascinating than two dudes talking about stuff should be.
Yeah, Wallace Shawn and who else is in that?
Well, Andre, whatever the hell his last name was. I think he's died a few years ago. But
Andre the Giant.
No. That would be okay. But although that joke's long since been made, I can't remember his name. But yeah, he was like they're both essentially named themselves. I think
it's an actor I've seen before. It's basically I've never seen it, but
I think they were friends in real life too. So
yeah,
that one.
So it's basically the Trip with Steve Coogan and
essentially
Rob Brydon.
Yeah. But it was kind of new at the time. Nobody had done anything like that.
Yeah, don't look it up, Chris. It's fine.
I'm not going to.
Don't worry. We just got some big finish stuff to wrap the show out with. Big stuff. That being 12th Doctor Chronicles. You only die twice. is coming March 2020 for the bevy of Big Finish stuff coming here very soon. Doctor Who Born to Die is Sixth Doctor one by Tegan Byrne.
I mean, that's kind of redundant, isn't it?
Born to Die, Sontarans versus Rutans.
And apparently blue outfit Colin Baker Doctor.
I like it. According to the cover.
That's not new. That's been around for a while, but yeah.
You can hear it. You can hear that he's wearing the blue outfit, even without the recorded dialogue.
Blue has a different sound than multicolor. Yeah.
Well, multicolor just causes a disturbing hum that this does not.
It's like electrical feedback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Just like that. Also, Big Finish, the Dream Team. It's the 40th anniversary of the Quinn Dilemma. Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
That's a great name.
Quinn Dilemma is great because it's the 40th anniversary of Colin Baker's debut on Doctor Who. So they're celebrating that with a little mini box set called the Quinn Dilemma. The Dream Team is due April. That was due March. This is April. Peter Davison story with look at that, with the dream crabs from Last Christmas are in this one.
The glasses that make him look smart.
I know, expertly photoshopped on.
Specs.
Yeah, because he never wore the glasses in that particular pose or with his hat. He never wore glasses with the hats in Doctor Who. Well done, photoshoppers.
I definitely dig the artwork on that one with showing Tegan Adrickness and the Doctor.
Yeah, that's cool.
With and without the dream crabs on their heads. It just really looks cool.
It does kind of cool, yeah. And the last of there's a anthology due in March, April, and May from Torchwood with Gareth David Lloyd there with the Weevils there called Tube Strike. That's the first one. Gareth David Lloyd and Tim Bentic. Tim Bentic, of course, who I mentioned before. Did I mention this before? He was the body double for Tom Baker in Shada.
Oh, yes, you did.
Yeah. 2017. He's the guy I mistook for old Jack Harkness.
Yes, that's right. And also played Cliff Lawton in the very first scene of The Thick of It, one of my very favorite TV shows.
There's a food podcast called Off Menu with Ed Gamble and James Acaster. The most recent, or one of the most recent episodes, is with Peter Capaldi. And apparently Peter Capaldi was... I've heard this secondhand, so I don't have it directly. But anyway, apparently Peter Capaldi said he is still most recognized for Malcolm Tucker.
That makes sense.
Unsurprising, yeah. He's an icon. I don't think either of you really watched The Thick of It, have you?
Oh, yeah.
I tried.
Every last drop, including the movie.
I got
well done.
3 or 4 episodes in, and I just cannot keep track of what the hell is going on, and it gets on my nerves. So I just kind of stopped.
I throw captions on, and I watch it just on a loop. And I pick up on it a lot. I find that season 3, Warren, is a little more coherent when it comes to stories. It's also my favorite season. Season 3 is the best, I think, when Nicola Murray comes in.
I like the idea of it, but also everybody's Scottish and mean as hell. So
I know.
And it just kind of it's like when you play a video game for too long, you're like, I kind of feel tired now.
I love it. I love it to bits. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. Think of it.
The dynamic of him and Chris Addison is just fantastic, which made me look so forward to the season 8 finale.
Yeah, because he was. Although I don't think they would think they shared a scene together, did they? Malcolm Tucker and Ollie Reeder. I don't think so in that.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think
he was dead.
Right.
And obviously Doctor Who didn't cross across because he wasn't dead. So
you didn't have permission to squee after all.
Yeah, that's true. Nicola Murray also was in a Peter Capaldi episode 2, and I think that's it for when it comes to main cast. Although one of the main casts in season 4, Ben Willibond, plays an entirely different character in Ghosts. And every time Erica watches that, he goes, "Oh my God, he plays the captain in Ghosts," and he's also like one of the Lib Dem MPs in season 4.
I've watched the American version of Ghosts, never the
BBC one. Speaking of American versions, is Veep basically The Thick of It? But
it is.
So
I mean, they're both by Iannucci. So
seeing a bunch of insane, panicked nonsense with a bunch of Brits and Scots, I can take that. A bunch of panicked Americans, it feels too much like
it. I like how you're not calling
all the mockumentaries you hate.
Yeah,
I like how you're not calling Scots Brits. That's wrong.
Well, they'd like that.
Yeah, so I thought Veep, like all American stuff, was just too over the top. you know, because they need to have a wacky character or two, like
Yeah.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus's personal aide. It's like, come on, this is just a character. But the thick of it feels real, which is what I like about it. You could totally imagine all of this actually happening.
This might just all be in my head, but part of it is Americans are in charge of everything, so having them panic about stuff, you're like, okay, whatever. But if you see a Brit freaking out, it's like, well, yeah, your empire's in decline and everything's a shambles, and yeah, it totally fits, right? Same with here, frankly. I'm not crapping on. I'm saying America, just whenever an American is acting humble in a TV show, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
Basically.
And also, you know, Veep is about like the vice president of the United States, whereas the thick of it is mostly centered around
like
just
the whole thing.
Functionaries.
And that's part of the problem.
Low-level
Americans would be
ministry.
like, if it was ever about functionaries, they'd be like, no, it's got to be about the Veep, right? Because, and that's just Hollywood. That's the way Hollywood is. That's just always been that way. So. Yeah. It's like soap operas in Coronation Street. Everybody's just somebody who lives on a street, and take your pick of what are the American soap operas. They always run some cosmetic concern or something. Right? They're always some big deal.
Yep. Be little. It's okay to be little, but don't be little. But you can be little.
Exactly. It's more interesting.
We're here to hear. Yeah. Anyway, that wraps up our meandering banter episode of Radio Free Skaro. Just a stopgap to prepare for the main event, which is next week, our Gallifrey One preview show. Chip, 2 Minute Time Lord, is going to be joining us for that. He's going to be on the main stage with us for a brief period, and of course, he's the man behind the mound of technology to keep us on time and on budget.
The miracle
I guess.
worker, if you will.
He is a miracle worker, and so he'll be joining us for our Gallifrey One preview show next week. I know a lot of people like listening to this in the airport on the way to Gallifrey One and stuff. So hopefully we can fulfill your dreams and wishes and talk about the panels that you want to go to.
And probably will, unlike us.
Yeah, exactly. Our preview show is mostly aspirations of things we would like to go to if we weren't so busy doing other things. So
yeah.
We live vicariously through others. So join us for that next week. Until next time, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.